Hello, welcome to our project. My name is Santiago Gonzalez,
I am Benjamin Perez Calderon.
and this is a presentation on English GAC, and it's about how has technology changed communication.
Okay, so we know technology has changed a lot of aspects nowadays, and communication is not an exception for this. So,
I'm sure we all heard or either our grandmas or moms tell us that we don't communicate anymore, and it's not true always because it just has changed. They said in the past communication was just face to face, but now it's more like messages and all that. So here's our thesis.
okay, our thesis says that technology has influence in a lot of aspects nowadays. Like I said, and communication is not an exception. Sometimes in a good way, and sometimes in a bad way. But we think that it has helped a lot more things, good things than bad things. Like my friend Santiago said, like communicate with your families around the world. Now you can just send a WhatsApp in 10 seconds, and then before that was to write a letter and send it. It was delivered in 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Another very important thing is business. In the past, when they made business, they had to communicate by mail. Now, you can just use your email or Hotmail, and or even the phone, and you can communicate within seconds and be on top of the game. Communication and technology. First of all, the definitions. Communications is the imparting or exchanging of information or news and means of connection between people or places in particular.
Basically, it's just sharing ideas or having a conversation with a person or looking for news in the newspaper or in social media. Technology. Definition of technology is the application of scientific knowledge for practical purposes, especially in industry.
Technology not only goes for communication, it has also helped like make everything advance, like industrialization, help make everything easier and faster and more efficient. And now technology, in the case of communication, it has changed by cell phones and texting and all that stuff.
Okay, so now the use of technology in communication. Using technology in communication has become a necessity. So this means that all people in the world has to communicate in some way. So now all the people need to have a cell phone to communicate easy and faster. Than, because before, well, people like I said, people communicate in letters and just face to face. So you can't even talk with a friend in another country. Now you can just send a WhatsApp and it's easy.
A clear example of this, at least for me, was when I was little. I wanted an iPod, and I mean, I couldn't really get it. And the basic functions of an iPod were just listening to music and maybe some games. And nowadays, like people from the age of 10 or 12 get a cell phone to be able to communicate with their fathers and be in touch whenever they need to. And I just think that impact has, if it's like that now, I can't imagine what it's going to be in the future. Like,
so well, for me, communication or technology in communication has helped a lot. Well, in a good aspect is like a person with autism, maybe he can communicate better in a cell phone than talking face to face to a person because
because sometimes these people can be ashamed of their way of talking because it could be just as a disability. But with the help of technology, they can feel like normal people and just talk by text, and it makes it easier. And each time it's being more and more developed towards making our lives easier day by day.
Okay, so as time goes on, more emerging technologies will change the way we communicate. So, in the 50s, 60s, I can tell you well, but I don't know if they think the world how it is today nowadays, like how people communicate nowadays than before.
Impact of technology in the case of business. Today, every business uses technology in its own way to reach the media and targeted consumers. Also, businesses have embraced technology by easing communication within companies and among investors and suppliers. This basically refers to the ability of being in touch with, as it says, with the companies and investors. You can clearly see this on like Wall Street, that in the past they had to wait for a call, and now they can just have it instantly on a website, and this helps them be more exact and precise when it comes to that.
Okay, as an example, maybe we can say that imagine Walmart talking to his distributor. Imagine Walmart is out of stock of fruits, and they need to buy these things faster. So nowadays they can just send a WhatsApp like saying, "Well, I need three apples and bananas," something like that. Than before, they have to send a letter, and they will probably take 1 week or maybe more.
And that would probably cause losing some customers. Another example is Amazon, which is called the big giant of the 20th century, that has completely broken the game, because now you can order anything and you can have it within maybe hours or days in your home, maybe some groceries or something you really want, and it's cheaper. So, yeah.
Okay, now the impact on everyday communication.
Technology has changed the way we interact and communicate with others. With the increased use of social media, social-based networks, people can create new relationships and also discover old friends. With technology, parents can communicate and keep track of their children, so communication has become easier and cheaper.
Okay, nowadays maybe this is a bad thing or a bad aspect of the technology and communication. Now people or the kids have a cell phone, and they don't interact with the family. They are in the cell phones all the day, and they even talk with her dad, her mom.
Something that's really good is being able to discover old friends and new relationships. This has been used a lot in dating apps like Tinder. And I don't think it's a bad thing, but I just think it kind of takes like the magic of it. Well, I think one of the things we didn't mention here, and it's really important, is the danger of this, because when you go on these dating sites, or even like children have the ability of talking to anyone they want. I think it's just really dangerous, because they could get into trouble, or
because you're not knowing who you're talking to.
Yeah.
Maybe it can be about people.
Yeah, people can pretend to be someone they're not, and this is really. There have been cases where they kidnap people through these sites, or even pretend to be, for example, a friend or a girl, and it's really not them. So I think that's something we need to have in mind when giving technology to our children.
And this is maybe the most badly point of technology and communication. Okay, how we communicate in the past? Like we said, we have to write letters. This was or face to face, or people used to.
These were the first use of communication. It was smoke signals, which were used by the Indians to communicate to different tribes, or people. And then there were carrier pigeons that were basically trained to deliver mail from a place to another one. And the first type of news communication was the Gutenberg printing press. That was used to print either a letter or the newspaper, and was then distributed to the people.
Maybe the first big way to communicate easy and faster was the newspaper. Then was the telephone, and then cell phones or emails maybe.
And it says here, in the past, people used communication either verbally or by actually meeting the person and talking face to face. So, yeah.
Okay, so when all this changed? This change when?
When landline phones became common in the 50s. But middle class homes could not afford them. Offices had them, and people in the upper middle class could afford them. If we, the ordinary middle class folks, had good relations with them, they were often kind enough to receive messages for us and also allowed to use the phone when we wished to talk to others.
Okay, so it changed when a person or a people said, what we have to do to know what is happening in the other part of the world. So, well, I will question that to me, because if in the past you can even know what was happening in China if you were living in USA. So maybe that was one of the necessities the people have to cover.
But as it says here, in the 50s, when it changed, it wasn't really a reliable change because not everyone could afford them, and they didn't really need them as much as we need them now. Only, as it says there, offices and business and upper middle people could have them. But yeah.
Well, of this cost, obviously, like you want to have, well, maybe the first change was Facebook or Instagram, maybe. But to have a Facebook or an Instagram, you must have a computer, a cell phone, something that has technology influenced.
Mail was probably one of the most used sources of communication in the past, but it wasn't a reliable way to communicate because vehicles used to malfunction all the time, and getting the parts to fix them was hard and expensive. This refers to the cars in that age, in that time, were really unreliable, as they would just stop working, and the parts weren't really like sold as there are today, that you can get it within days and you can get it fixed. So mail wasn't really a reliable way to communicate efficiently.
Okay, so where is technology changing in communication? Well, one thing is better quality. The huge amount of knowledge accessible by a click of the mouse has helped improve the quality of communication. So this means that now you just can write your message you want to send and click, and it's sent it in seconds.
Translating a foreign language to a familiar language. One of those inventions that's been really going out lately is an earphone that you can put in your ear, and it translates on the moment what you're hearing, and it's amazing because you can go to other countries and use it to understand other people, and if they have another one, they can talk to you. So yeah. Seeking out the meaning of an unknown word. This has been used by students mostly, I think, when teachers say something and you don't really know what it means. You don't have to go to the library and look for a dictionary anymore. You just go on Google and type in the word, and you get it instantly. This allows for having to have a better conversation and communication next time you encounter that word.
Basically, well, knowing information about a familiar in other country or city.
Yeah. And
by the internet.
Another thing that's been done by communication is being able to be familiar with anything, because you can just search on the internet and get an explanation from someone else.
Mm-hmm. well, before you have to search on the books and things like that to know these things, but now you're searching in Google sites or Yahoo. You just put the things you want to know, and you just click enter, and you have the info in seconds. This is one of the things that technology has changed communication.
Change. The invention of new gadgets such as mobile phones made communication easier by allowing people to communicate from anywhere. And there is an underestimated impact of mobile gadgets is the effect they have on the nature of communication. As we talked at the beginning of the presentation, they have impacted the face-to-face conversations mostly because now if I want to talk to a friend, I don't have to go and meet them. I can just send them a message and let them know, I don't know, how I'm feeling or anything.
Mm-hmm. Well, imagine going to your friend's house and telling him that, okay, be ready at 8 to go to a party. Now you just have to, well, you have to go back to your home and things like that. Now you just have to send a WhatsApp and saying that be ready at 8 at the party. So it's more efficient than before.
Accessibility. The answer to the question how technology has changed communication is incomplete without mention of technology's role in the democratization of communication systems. Technology has brought down the cost of communication significantly and improved people access. This can definitely be observed as we talked in the past. Mail was unreliable because of the vehicles being really expensive and they broke down really easily. And now I just need to log into my computer and send a mail.
Okay, so before well, imagine when the first phone was released. Well, the cost was so higher than some people does not have the access to buy it. But nowadays, maybe you can go to OXXO and buy OXXO phones. That is a cheaper way to communicate and easy. So now people can buy anything they want.
Nature of communication. The use of communication and the expressive interactive communication methods, such as instant messengers and video conferencing, have increased the volume of communication or reduced the average length. People now communicate whatever comes up instantly and tend to break up different topics in different communications. So yeah, basically when the email was first invented, you could talk to anyone in the world, but it wasn't really as personal as nowadays. You can just go into a conference and really get to know the person. So I think that's a really good thing about the recent technology. Distracted.
Okay, this is one of the bad points of technology. Okay. The distracted. Well, all people nowadays get distracted by just feeling their phone vibrating because they think they receive an important message, but the important thing is that they are talking face to face to the person who cares. It is.
I think this can definitely be be seen as a sign of politeness, because when I'm talking to people face to face, I want for them to really pay attention to me. And if they're on their phone, I just instantly get another vibe from the person and don't really want to communicate with them, and I just want to end the conversation and go impersonal. The very nature of technology working here in personal communication is that it is short and instant and in no way meant to express feelings and emotion compared to face-to-face communication. Technology also distorts the clarity of the message being conveyed since it is fast and instant. There are times when the tone and meaning behind a digital message is misconstructed. So this can be observed as when we use sarcasm, for example. You can't really get that into a message, and I think sometimes a message should be misunderstood because of that.
Okay. So as a conclusion for me, technology has changed a lot in communication for good things, better than for bad things.
Yeah, and we can definitely improve more, taking care of our children and improving day by day technology. I don't know if there are any questions.
I have a question.
Okay.
What do you think will be the future of the communication?
Okay, for me, like in the movies of Star Wars, we are going to have holograms. So now you can talk. Well, it will be face to face to the person you're talking to.
I feel like maybe more in the future you can even interact with them, like feel what they're feeling, smelling what they're smelling, tasting what they're tasting. But that's some years. No. Any other question?
I have a question.
Okay.
Do you think that no? How do you think the automobile the transport is like this section of the transport will change in the past of the years?
So like delivering and then
Like when the airplane was invented and things like that.
No, the past of the year, not the past.
Okay, so
Past.
well,
In, like in
the impact of the okay, so
technology.
well, I think that maybe well, it is impossible, I think, but it will be nice to have teletransportation for me. It will be the best thing.
Yeah, I definitely think that transportation could be improved. Maybe not a lot right now, but yeah, we could definitely make the time shorter and maybe more efficient.
No more questions?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mario.
Right.